Happy New Year. Welcome to 2020. Clear eyesight. That's what I'm going to be praying for, amongst other things. Now I see you. Now I don't. Now I see you. Now I don't. All right. Hope you had a good New Year. Went to a worship gig last night. It was a good time. Then I woke up 3:30 in the morning. Not a good time, but oh well. I'll get over it. Dealt with worse for far less of a good reason. So, anyhow, what I was going to talk about today is my friends who I can confirm have raised the dead 4 times. And it's a mixed bag of nuts. And so I'm going to kind of give you what's going on in my head and heart. First off, I am glad for those that got raised from the dead because I'm not going to use names or anything like that or had too many identifiers, but they were overdoses, three of them. One of the first one that happened was just a normal accident where somebody got hurt and they died. And there was someone, family member by him, that was really upset. And they had been Christian throughout their life. At the moment that the loved one got hurt, they were not Christian at the time. They knew the gospel and they knew God. They just weren't walking it out that way. So the way they tell it, the truth of the matter is, they heard two voices. It's okay, the person that passed away. It's okay. They're with God. They're in heaven, and they're fine. And then there was a second voice that just simply goes, "You're going to do what's right." And so this person just goes, "All right, Jesus, I'm in." Goes and raises the dead. That's number one. Then there's three more. What it is they had family members that had been struggling with addictions, and the addictions got the worst of them. So they OD'd, two family members. And first one brought them back. Yay, God. Then a second family member OD'd, brought them back. And then there was another person who was just not family member to a family friend, but they OD'd, brought them back. So what I have been wrestling with is, first off, I need to get happy. This is blowing my mind. The It seems almost like it's easier to change someone from dead to life than to change a heart. If you have faith, you can raise the dead. And I'm reckoning if I have faith, I can change a heart because I've been working on my own for a while. And just the people that have been raising the dead, they ain't your average Christian. They're not. You go into a church, they're not the ones you're going to be pointing at going, "Oh, it was them." I like them, love them, but they're just not, they would be laughing at this video. They might even see it. "What's up, dude?" And, but they did it. That's the fact of the matter. And they are walking with God and they are walking it out. And what God has spoken into my heart is, one, people who are dead now have a chance. I'm like, dude, I'm wrapping my head around that one pretty easy. Like, you die without knowing God, it's a bad scene. You die knowing God, all right, cool, catch you on the other side. So then people raising the dead, it's really not your character in the moment or your past character. It's really faith in the moment. And everything, I think, can be pretty much, I don't want to say ignored, it's almost like erased. The moment you plead the blood over your past and you say, Father, forgive me, and you mean it, there's no stepping into faith. It's just boom, you're there and you got the goods. And then I think what it is with me, it's character development. I'd always expected something different. Yeah, I would, I don't mind character development. I think it's important when if you're going to be raising the dead, good for the dead. And I'm speaking about myself. I'm not talking to anybody out there. Is if I have a gift, let's say it's raising the dead. Now that I know my friends could do it, I know I'm all right. Oh, by the way, they said they were scared and they felt almost foolish and that they heard other voices in their head saying, "Why are you bothering? Give up." And they didn't give in to those things. So if you need to raise the dead, here it is. Give your heart to Jesus, tell death to leave. However you manifest it, but you just pray life over the dead person, tell their spirit to come back or whatever, and then you just don't quit. It is faith, and that operates by love. And now, in all these cases, my friends they were operating out of love because they were loved ones. So character for me, I lacked it. Dude, I was as born again as anybody, spirit filled, and I'm the one who didn't walk it out too hot. And I jokingly call it STDs, spiritually transmitted diseases, boogers, critters, whatever it is, stuff that messes with your head, mind, heart, and emotions. And I had things hurt me. I had offenses, and I'm dealing with them. And I think I'm glad I know I'm not I don't think I'm glad I'm doing that. I know I'm glad I'm doing that because even if I don't raise the dead, for me having the right character in front of God is important. Not having bitterness, loving my neighbor as myself, and who's my neighbor? Everybody, including my enemy. And I think I'm pretty happy with that. Now, would I like to raise the dead? Yeah, I think so. Up until you meet a dead person, then it's kind of a whole different game. You're like, dealing with a busted foot's one thing. I've seen that healed immediately, but when someone's dead, that's a whole other game. But anyhow, still, he says, heal the sick, cast out demons, and raise the dead. So it's game time. Uh, and I'm realizing just because it's kind of scary, or for lack of a better word, doesn't mean you shouldn't step into it and try it. But the character development for me goes something, it is to be like Jesus as I'm walking towards this. And I'm going to make another video here about talking with an angel. Actually, it was first morning of the new year, talked with an angel. Had an angel talk to me, actually. I wasn't even looking for it to happen. I might as well go into it. So it's the first day of the new year, and woke up at 3:30 because kind of like a nightmare thing. Every time I ask for God to give me a dream, I get a nightmare. I'm like, whatever. Well, I'm kind of used to it, so I didn't freak out too much. It's just that it woke me up and kind of got me tired. So I got up and started praying and prayed for a while. It was a good time. I'm processing some things out with God in my own heart, how to act towards people in any given stressful situation, to act like Him. That's what He wants, because stressful situations are going to happen whether we like it or not. It's just, do I want to act like Him or not? And my answer is yes, I want to act like Him. So at work, there are some people, I've been praying for them. Forget the Bible verse it is, bless those that curse you, pray for those who spitefully use you. And when I'm wide awake, if I start getting sketchy up in my head, thinking negatively towards them, I'll take the thought captive. But it was kind of, I went and laid down and I was kind of sleeping and, kind of like not dreaming of these people, just thinking bad things, like, oh, this is going to happen and that's going to happen, blah, blah, blah. And I was kind of going sideways in my mind. And all of a sudden, I hear, I felt this presence on my left side, and it was beautiful, felt good. And in the past, a ringing would accompany it, a beautiful ringing, like a tuning fork. Except this time it's just the presence, and I could feel it, but it's like really tangible. I'm like, oh, it's an angel. I know this one. So I just dialed down, and I'm like, okay, you're here. I'm listening. And what was put into my heart was everything I was thinking negative towards my coworkers that I had some conflict with. God was blessing them. God's like, no, man, it's going to be peaceful and it's going to be safe. And I think that's what it is because I was thinking about things going wrong with machinery and it's big, heavy equipment I'm around, and you can get hurt if someone has a bad attitude. And I was thinking they were going to be in a bad attitude. And then I got stopped. I didn't pray. He stepped in. I believe it was an angel. Whether it's an angel or his spirit sovereignly, I don't know. But from what I've talked to him a lot about it, I believe it's an angel. I'll circle around later to that. So in my mind, I'm hearing, and a new mindset's being put into my head. It's going to be safe and it's going to be peaceful at work. And I'm like, okay, I accept it. And it's made all the difference because I didn't pray into it. I didn't try to be obedient. I didn't do anything. He stepped in, him, Jesus, or his angel, someone he sent for me to minister to me. And it's made all the difference. So my friends are raising the dead. Maybe I'm looking for more character development in myself. Maybe I should look for more character development in myself than anyone else. That's probably the way it is. And just rejoice that my friends that had passed away are alive. And for that, I am really thankful and I am praying for them because once they came back from the dead, they're still having problems with giving up the stuff that killed them. And that's just the nature of addiction or the demon of addiction. So I'm going to pray against that. And I'm going to pray life over them and rejoice that they're alive and wait for God to do his miracle for them and in them and for me and in me. So I'm sharing this because if my friends can raise the dead, we all can. Not to diminish them, it's to exalt him and his word. His word says, heal the sick, cast out demons, raise the dead. That's it. So we can do it. Me, you, everybody. So that's the beginning of my new year. Not bad. Hope yours is a great one. And we'll talk to you later. Bye bye.